tó pójú owó. Fẹ́rẹ̀ ìdárayá lóríṣiríṣi. Ká polówó ọjà ò ká jẹ́ ó wọgbà. Hosanna ló ní ẹ máa gbọ́ wa o, ẹ máa gbọ́ wa. West Radio 89.3 FM, àwa ni bàbá.
Studio time check says it's 34 minutes past 6 a.m. Today is the 20th day in November of 2025. Good morning to you out there. How are you doing this morning? How was your night? I hope you have plans for the day to keep yourself busy, because they say that an idle hand or an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So have plans this morning, have plans today to keep yourself busy, okay? Plan to go somewhere, plan to, do something good, of course. Plan to be somewhere, plan to be something to somebody, okay? Just find something to do that can contribute towards your future today, all right? Good morning once again from the studios of Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, where we bring you wholesome content that is very useful and very good for every single member of your family. Whether you have children, teenagers, preteens, young adults, whether you're middle-aged, whether you're elderly, whatever you may be, we have something for you right here at Wells Radio 89.3 FM. So good morning and thank you for joining us. Now, Wells Radio is located along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole State, Ibadan. That's where we're broadcasting live from, bringing you wholesome content suitable for every single member of the family. You can follow us. I'd like you to follow, like, and share our Facebook, our social media handles. We are on X, TikTok, and Instagram at Wells Radio 893. We're on Facebook, a specially curated Facebook fan page at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. That's Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. You can listen to us directly via our website, www.wellsradio893.com. I'll take that again, www.wellsradio893.com. Okay, follow us, like our page, like our posts, and drop your comments so that we can know that you're there with us. As a matter of fact, we're live at the moment, so go on there and like our page, like the post this morning, and drop your comments as the show progresses, and I'll definitely take your comments. My name is Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola. It's a new day, and let's make the best use of it. The program this morning is Perspectives Unlimited, where we take a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. We go beyond the news. We help you make sense of these stories and more. All right, so just stay tuned, and we're going to give you the latest stories that are making the rounds. I have the front pages of the dailies before me, and I have the Punch newspaper, I have the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, I have the Daily Trust newspaper, and the Guardian newspaper. We'll start with the Punch newspaper front page, where the lead headline says, Kwara, Kebbi abductions, federal government blames U.S. as kidnap outreach spreads. Tinubu cancels foreign trips, troops storm Kwara after bandits kill 2, abduct 35 worshippers. Shatima, Kebbi, Kwara governors visit families. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Terrorism, police tighten Southeast security as Kanu knows fate today. You find that on page 7. Wike slams Turaki as police seal PDP secretariats. That's on page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. We'll take a look at the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, where the lead headline says, Terrorism, NLC, JNI, CAN, others call for decisive action as federal government says Nigeria's security put on highest alert ever. Soldiers take over Kwara community. Youths block Ilorin Kaba Highway. Shetima in Kebbi says abductors of schoolgirls will face the law. Kebbi local government area chairman releases names of abducted schoolgirls, refutes claim they are Christians. Take decisive action to return students, says JNI. Confront the evil before it consumes us all, NLC tells federal government. Attack on Nigeria, a destabilization plot, says Northern CAN. President aborts G20 EU meetings, awaits security briefings. That story is on page 3 and 20 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. More headlines. Please seal off PDP's Wadata Plaza, block access points. Obi blames crisis in PDP, Labour Party, SDP on APC-led government. Call on Trump to save Nigerian democracy, a national security threat, says Wike. That story is on page 8. 230 million Nigerians will defeat 25 governors in 2027, says El Rufai. That story is on page 24. Ribadu Egbetokun Fagbemi lead 10-man federal government delegation to U.S. Meet Congressman Moore. That story is on page 20. In picture stories, Vice President Kashim Shettima in Benin Kebbi State to commiserate with the government and the people of the state yesterday, Wednesday. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, bandits abduct 30 in Kwara church attack. Kebbi releases names of kidnapped schoolgirls. That story is on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, continued on pages 3, 4, and 6. How mosquito coil fire killed family of 4 in Kano. That story is on page 33. Kano governor presents 1.36 trillion naira budget for 2026. You found that on page 33. Super Falcons shine as Nadoze extends dominance at CAF Awards. That's on page 39. Genocide. Ribado leads delegation to U.S. Congressman. That's on page 33 as well. Let's see. ISWAP leader bags 20 years jail term. You find out on page 14. I lost 30 shops in Gombe Market. Inferno says trader. That's on page 18 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. In picture stories, operatives of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and traders at the Kasuwa and Katako Market in Gombe State following a fire outbreak yesterday. On the front page of the Guardian newspaper, the stories are very similar. Outrage over rising abductions, attacks as army rallies 24,000 recruits. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. More headlines. SMBLF fears Nigeria drifting towards one-party rule. That's on page 4. Alleged Christian genocide. Federal government accuses U.S. of inciting violent groups. That's on page 4. Federal government, states, local governments share 2.09 trillion naira as October revenue. That's on page 4. Cross River to begin forensic audit of civil servants' certificates in January. That's on page 34. Health workers' strike will continue until federal government reviews CONHES. You found that on page 34 as well. Over 6,386 cargoes detained by NPF Customs incur 472.5 million naira daily demurrage. That story is on page 15. Northern groups reject FEC's lopsided road projects. That's on page 34. 230 million Nigerians to unseat Tinubu, defecting governors, El Rufai says. That's on page 35 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. These and many more we'll be talking about on Perspectives Unlimited. I'll bring our analyst on the show today on, Mr. Alali Konsani. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, madam.
How do you do?
I'm not doing well, not fine.
Many Nigerians at the moment are honestly not doing well. And as I was telling a journalist friend of mine yesterday, we're processing this just as much as the average Nigerian, maybe even more, because we're exposed to these stories, you know, more in a deeper way. You know, it's in our faces all the time. I mean, this is what we do. And I think this is just out there to my colleagues and people who interact with the news on a daily basis like this, to, you know, be very careful and watch your mental health. Also, no, for real, also for Nigerians listening, be very careful, you know, and watch your mental health. It's not good news that it's not really good news that has been coming out of the grapevines in this past week, especially, and it's very, very important to ensure that you know, your mind is not taken over, to ensure that you're in a good state of mind. It's not just enough to be alive, you also have to be in a good state of mind to ensure that you're not hating anybody, to ensure that the outrage is not going deep inside of you. I think that's a good way to start this morning. Please, let's try to ensure that we're not, there's a word I've been looking for, but I can't find it. Let's ensure that we're not taken over by this outrage that some of us feel as people. Consumed, thank you so much. You know, let's ensure that we're not consumed by this outrage that we feel. Do you want to talk about how you feel, Mr. San?
Let's just go straight into the stories. I feel low naturally, but I'll be fine.
All right. Let's take a look at the headlines and stories that are making the rounds across the different dailies this morning. We'll start with the Punch newspaper. Well, a little bit of all the dailies actually, because they all talk about the Kwara and Kebbi abductions. The Punch newspaper puts it as Kwara Kebbi abductions, federal government blames U.S. as kidnap outreach spreads. The Nigerian Tribune says NLC, JNI can others call for defensive action. Daily Trust says bandits abduct 13 Kwara church attack. Kebbi releases names of kidnapped schoolgirls. And The Guardian says outrage over rising abductions attacks as army rallies 24,000 recruits. All right, now we'll take it from different angles, so that we can make use of the little time that we have. We don't have so much time on the show today, so we'll just take it one after the other. Now, quickly, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, that story, let's take it. The federal government on Wednesday blamed the renewed terror attacks, including the abduction of schoolgirls in Kebbi and the assault on worshippers in Eruku.
Eruku, yes.
Yes, Kwara State. No, Eruku, because I listened to the pastor who actually spoke yesterday. And I was like, oh, that's the correct pronunciation. On recent remarks by United States as public anger over the incident spread nationwide. Now, SGF, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, said Trump's posts alleging Christian genocide in Nigeria and threatening to deploy U.S. troops had inadvertently emboldened opportunistic violent groups now seeking to justify attacks on soft targets. He said, and I watched the video, recent pronouncements from the United States have inadvertently emboldened opportunistic violent groups seeking to exploit international narratives and make bold statements by attacking soft targets. He said, before these statements, insurgency structures had been significantly degraded and reduced to isolated banditry. This resurgence underscores the vital need for collaboration, not public labeling, between Nigeria and the United States. Isolated banditry, which means, Mr. Sen, can you break that down for us?
It's all jargon, Sister. Let's not go into that.
We do need to talk about it because now the SGF has said that, or has the SGF has said or has implied that before President Trump made the comments that he made on Nigeria, about Nigeria, that it seems like the country had banditry, had a hold, or had it contained.
I don't really do.
Is that the true picture?
Let's get straight into the matter. I don't really do well with titles. I don't do well with names. I don't do well with phrasal verbs or whatever. But is it the truth? What I'm trying to say here is
it the truth that the country had a hold on banditry?
That is where I'm going. What exactly is happening now that didn't happen in the past? That is the point. Is it an attack on a religious place of worship? That has happened.
Let's put our recall band at the beginning of this administration.
What happened in Kaduna the other time? 137 pupils. They were abducted in a school. Have you forgotten? In fact, broad daylight. Attacks on churches and mosques. These are things that we see on a weekly basis. So it's not about Donald Trump here. I do not trust the fact that America is interested in helping us. I don't believe in that at all, not at all. What I'm saying here is that the government has failed beyond measure, and they are still failing. And instead of talking about their failure with a view to finding a solution to what is happening on the ground, they are blaming other people. And like I've always said, if there is an issue for you to address, and what you want to do is to blame other people, number one, you are not admitting that the problem is there. And if you are not admitting that the problem is there, you will never find a solution to it because you keep deceiving yourself that the problem is not there, when in reality the problem is staring you in the face. Now let's take them one after the other. Should we start with the killing of the Brigadier General in Borno, or we just start with the incident in Kebbi State?
So as much, I don't want us to dwell on them one by one, because the truth is, the three attacks, at least we're talking about what happened in Kebbi, what happened in Kwara, and also the killing of the Brigadier General, they all point to the same thing: unchecked terrorism and banditry in Nigeria on Nigerians, regardless of religion, by terrorists. At this point, we shouldn't be referring to them as bandits anymore, by terrorists. And the question here, Mr. Sani, or two questions: what is your opinion on the on the body language of the president.
It's not making sense to me. And in all seriousness, we still have to, highlight what happened in 3 of those instances. And Nigerians need to understand what happened, what should have happened that could have prevented what happened, and what ought to have happened after what happened. Let's start with the Brigadier General matter. There are a lot of conspiracy theories flying around that, somebody in the Nigerian army must have ratted the guy out when they were chatting.
And then there are also blames on the media outlet that published the chat.
I don't believe in that. I don't dwell on conspiracies. I don't dwell on sensationalism. I discuss facts. I understand that particular Brigadier General was actually a pain in the rear end for these bad boys. He had been going after them, doing everything he could within his own personal capacity to send these guys to heaven, which I believe should be the only option for them. He did a patrol around the community not too far from Sambisa Forest. And when you hear Sambisa Forest, everybody knows what you are talking about. On his return to his base, he used a road that was and still is in the hands of the bad boys, and he was attacked. In the confusion that ensued, you are attacking people who have guns. You can't just walk straight up to them. You'll have to be cautious as well. The bad boys attacked, they struck, the soldiers returned fire, everybody took cover. But at that particular point in time, you need to understand that it's the group of people with a higher number of men that will survive eventually. Because at some point you will run out of ammunition here. And should that happen to you, you are toast. Whichever side that runs out of ammunition is in trouble at that particular point in time. Some soldiers were killed immediately. I do not have any fact to point to I don't have anything to point to.
But we learned he told his men to withdraw or to go back to base since he saw that they were at a disadvantage.
These are post-event narratives. I'm talking about what actually transpired from my own independent sources. In the middle of the confusion, everybody was on foot. They got out of the vehicle and they were, returning fire. At that particular point in time, I knew it was only a matter of time before they were going to get the guy, because these are people who are in their own domain. They can call for backup. They can call for supply of ammo. The guy initially, was on his own. He was calling people at the command headquarters to find a way to evacuate him out of that place. When I saw that, I knew it was only a matter of time before they were going to get him. And eventually they did, simply because he was in their domain. What were you expecting actually? Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. And, it pains me for that particular guy because I have spoken to a number of his classmates that, they went to the NDA at the same time, and they said, that guy is a fantastic guy. And, that really pains me. I should also make a point very, very clear. This is the first time somebody who carries the title of a general will be falling, will be going down since Boko Haram, since this drama started in 2002. It tells you that things are degenerating.
Let me cut in and ask you this question, Mr. Sam, because this is the narrative that has been pushed on social media all through the week.
Okay.
Now, you said from your independent findings, many people have alleged multiple breaches in our intelligence operations. They have said that this is why the soldiers keep failing in their quest to get these people. They say that there are saboteurs in the army. The fact that you as a
Nigerian,
as a civilian, are also able to get this information that you said you have, and so many people have also claimed that we said this, and also the newspaper, the online newspaper that also published the text. All of this shows information leakage. Do you think that this also is part of the problems? Are there saboteurs in our intelligence system?
Well, nothing is secret actually. And
should it be so?
Even in the United States of America, texts do get leaked. what shouldn't leak to the public is what can create confusion. Somebody died, people are most certainly going to ask questions.
The newspaper that got the text, apparently it seems like they got the text while he was in captivity, and the army was saying, oh, he's back.
I have done everything. I know the online journal you are talking about.
Yeah.
I went on their website, and there is nothing to prove that they published that thing before Human Hango. It was actually the daily that broke the news that this guy is dead. I mean, before then, the journal that later posted that text didn't post it where the guy was supposedly alive. I believe the guy had been dead since last week Friday, long before last week Friday. He died just a couple of minutes after the attack. But the Nigerian army told us that the guy had not even just that he was back to base, that he led his troops back to base. I mean, that is a ridiculous lie. And it is painful to me. Somebody died, a brigadier general died, and you are still gaining, momentum on the back of his death. There is no word to describe that. Let's now go to Kebbi. Kebbi, was there an act of sabotage? Yes. From my own independent sources, kudos to the SSS this morning. I'm not a fan of any intelligence or security agency in this country. But the SSS got wind of the fact that our school was going to be attacked. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, we learned that they already had military and police presence who then disappeared at some point.
People in a particular brand of uniform were drafted to that school. When they went there, they didn't, from what I understand, they didn't really inform the school authorities of what was going to happen. Rather, they came to tell them that they wanted to teach them drills, how to survive attacks and all of that. And
which makes sense, because they may be causing panic and confusion if you tell them that we've heard that your school will be hit.
You should tell the principal. You should tell the principal so that at least he will understand the gravity of what is at stake. And in all seriousness, if that's the case, why not close that school immediately? Even if only for 2 weeks. You can close that school for 2 weeks. Everyone is not going to fall.
What if they didn't have a timeline on the attack?
They knew exactly what was going to happen. They said, from what I understand, an attack was imminent on that school. What I'm actually trying to say here is that the people in that particular security agency that came there to forestall that came to the school. Instead of doing what you would have expected, they were taking selfies with the female students. They were taking photographs with the female students there. And 30 minutes before the attack, these guys left. The part of it that pained me the most was when these bad boys came, the two women who lost their husbands said exactly the same thing. The only difference was the timeline. One of them said 3 a.m. One of them said 4 a.m. My own independent sources said it was in fact around 5 that the thing happened, just a couple of minutes before 5 o'clock. What we are trying to say here is that 30 minutes before the first shot, these people that were drafted to the school to protect the school disappeared.
Now, we've heard time and time again from governors in some of the northern states that, there was a particular governor who spoke one time and said, he gets credible intelligence.
That's Zamfara.
And then he reaches out to the military or the police. I believe the army.
Army said army.
And they to come that he has this intelligence that these people will be here at this time, and then they either don't come or they come late. And when he asked, they say that they got the order from the top.
Let me even tell you what happened in Plateau State. The governor of Plateau State, Kele Muftuang, he said that not once, not twice would he get reports that these bad boys are going to strike at this particular point in time and at this particular location. And he will call for military backup to be drafted to that particular area. He said on 2 occasions, the bad boys came, they didn't fire at the security guys. The security guys didn't engage them. The security guys were doing exactly what they came to do, and the security guys turned a blind eye right before them. That's part one. Part two, sometimes 2-3 minutes before the arrival of these bad boys, you just see that the military guys have disappeared.
Now, so this corroborates what the other governor said, and so many Nigerians have alleged the complicity of the Nigerian army. What is your stance on
There
this?
is nothing on the ground right now to say it's a lie. That is it. There is nothing on the ground right now to say it is a lie. I have been saying something. You cannot continue to give people trillions of money every year and not ask them how they are spending the money. 5 trillion naira is the budget for security this year. If you give somebody 5 trillion naira and you're not asking that person to come and give account of how they spend their money or how far they have gone in securing the country, trust me, don't be surprised. Should emphasis on should these people begin to do things that will make insecurity to continue, so that come next year you give them 7.5 trillion, if not 10 trillion.
Let me cut in and we'll take a short break now. When we come back, the conversation will continue on Perspectives Unlimited. Please don't go anywhere. Stay with us right here at Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas!
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh.
Christmas is almost here, and Wells Radio 89.3 FM is bringing the joy closer to you. It's the Father Christmas Fiesta 2025.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Happening live on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of December 2025. It's 3 days of joy, fun, and family moment that every child will remember. We are calling on churches, NGOs, schools, brands, and kind-hearted individuals to partner, sponsor, and spread the joy of Christmas to families across Ibadan and your state. Let's make Christmas brighter together. For sponsorship and partnership, call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Sam on 0813 746 5878. Ayo on 0706 840 7359. Wells Radio 89.3 FM, celebrating Christmas the family way.
Now the ground is white, so grow it while you're young.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
You're welcome back. Studio time check says it's 6 minutes past 7 a.m. Today is the 20th day in November 2025. We're taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. It's Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Our studio lines are open and you can be a part of the conversation this morning. I'd like to urge us and beg us and implore us this morning. When you're making your comments, please let's be very polite. So we're not saying don't say what you want to say, but let's be polite and let's not incite people. These are very, very important. Let's not insult people and let's not incite people. Stay clear of the two eyes. 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333893. I'll take the numbers again. 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333893. These are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning. Mr. Sani, before the break,
I think we need to talk about Quora too, so that people can understand what actually transpired.
Yes, and as you wrap that up, we need to take a look at the complicity in the army and how to overcome it. What do you think needs to be done, and what should the president be doing at the moment?
Let's talk about Quora briefly, please.
Just go ahead.
Tuesday evening there was a 6 p.m. service at a particular CAC church.
You know, the funny thing is, I listened to the pastor.
Okay.
And he said they were doing Thanksgiving because some people who were kidnapped were released. And in my mind, I said, my goodness, the irony of it.
In the middle of the service, I was even hearing some prayers, and the next thing was outside. Are you kidding me?
The first frozen shock.
We need to tell the people that they were actually on Facebook. They were doing Facebook Live.
Apparently, the church secretary was using his phone to do a Facebook Live.
And we saw everything right on screen. These bad boys came in. What broke my heart the most was that aged woman who was struggling to walk. I mean, in the melee that ensued, people were running helter-skelter. They didn't even know where to go. I want to believe that the church had been surrounded because some people ran through the back door only for them to come back. So apparently there was fire coming from outside of the church. They had surrounded them before opening the first round of fire. See, let's start with Borno State because that was where it started from. It breaks my heart that the entire length and breadth of that particular community has not been flipped over. And, that points to the fact that the Nigerian military is not by any means serious. You didn't. To become a brigadier general, you must spend at least 25 years in the army. And I'm not talking about from lance corporal, from lieutenant colonel, I mean second lieutenant, then major, lieutenant, 25 years. This is a guy who in the next 2-3 years will become a major general. And was decimated like that. Everybody saw this guy's final moment on heart. And nothing. The recording is there. The guy was seated on the floor. He sat on the floor. And they did what they did, like right on TV. Everybody saw it. I saw it. And nothing. No bomb has gone off in that particular locality. I mean, that tells you that the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Air Force, and the Nigerian Navy have a lot of questions to answer. That then happened alone was, an unforgivable sin. What is even now bigger than that unforgivable sin is that not one person has been cut down. I cannot process that. That's number one. For Kirby, it was not until 3-4 hours after those bad boys had left that 2 military aircraft appeared in the sky. And at that particular point in time, you should know that you do not hold the longer end of the stick simply because they have people that you care about with them. Fighter jets can't work anymore at that particular point. There are two things. One of them might bring immediate succor, but it is going to bring trouble later in life. You negotiate with them. At that particular point in time, stick is no longer your bigger weapon. It's carrot. If you want those kids back alive. If you give them carrots, they may release the children. But that carrot will be used to buy more weapons, which will in turn mean more hell for us. Over 300 students were kidnapped sometime in Katsina State. And the government was saying that, we didn't pay any ransom. But the BBC went to the guy who did that job, and they said, as of then, that he swore by the name of God that he collected 800 million naira from the government. Then I asked them, what did you do with 800 million? He swore again by the name of God that he used each and every penny of the 800 million to buy more guns and bullets. The result of that is what we are saying now. So if you give them more carrots, they will give you the kids, but you know what is going to happen at the end of the day. What we should be talking about is intel right now. Let's locate where these guys are. And fighter jets will not help. Because I don't believe they're going to keep them in open forest.
You say that we need more show intelligence, which we must applaud the DSS. They've been doing of recent. Now,
no, I won't say of recent, but at least
in Katsina,
in Kebbi State, they informed the system that something was going to happen.
And they had also said in Kwara, if you remember, I think last month.
No, they said Kogi and Ondo, not Kwara.
Oh, okay. Now, you say we need more intel. But again, I still stand with the fact that there are many allegations of saboteurs. So even if we get intel, it's just a matter of
I'm talking about where these kids are, these 25 of them. I mean, they are not as many as 200.
I'm taking it to broader terms.
Oh, okay.
How do we treat the allegations of sabotage, the ogas at the top, who keeps telling, who keep telling them to go, don't go? Or, do you understand? So how do we fix this?
There is no way that is not going to happen if you give people 5 trillion naira. I'm not talking about 5 million. I'm talking about 5 billion. I mean, 5 trillion naira, and you don't ask questions. Naturally, the guys would say, I don't have any...
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, West Radio.
Good morning to you, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is George. I'm calling you from Oduekun-Ayoola.
Good morning, Mr. George. Your voice is a bit low. Let's have your contribution.
I want to ask a question.
Go ahead, sir.
The kidnapping of students in the school, what is the purpose for? Is it for ransom taking or just to disrupt their education?
That's a good question, sir. But I doubt that any of us can answer that
No,
question.
I think I can make an attempt. It's number one to show that we
Mr.
are
George, you can keep listening to this on radio so we don't waste your airtime.
Okay, thank you.
All right, sir.
is to show that we are in charge and we can do whatever we want to do. If you go to schools, we are going to come and pick you. If you go to churches and mosques, we will come and pick you. If you go
Because
to
we know
markets,
that when the initial Boko Haram started, the issue was with education. And so it was expected that they would pick up school students.
They said they were against education, but they were using
Western education.
But they were using internet to broadcast their propaganda. They were
Let-
using
let's-
guns. They were
let-
using
let-
guns.
let's-
Oh,
let's
no,
say from
no,
there.
no, no. They were using guns used by Westerners. They were using bombs used by Westerners. I mean, it was all it was all facade. It was just something to say, okay, this is what we stand on. When in reality, it's all about power and money. So for the guys in the what's it called? Doing what they did for the guys who did what they did in Kebbi, who kidnapped students. Number one, it was a show of force. Number two, it's about getting more money because the government is in no position to say we want to fight you now. If the government wants those kids back, the government will have to, shake body, like they say on the street. Government will shake body and something will come out. But that is not going to help eventually because it's like you are empowering them for the future. You now asked a question as regards to what is going to happen. I'm going to say something here, and Nigerians are going to say, Mr. Sani, you have come again this morning. But yes, I have come, in fact, with my full chest. We need to cut the benefits that generals are getting.
Cut the benefits?
Yes, that they are getting. And I am not saying this because I just want to be crazy. I'm saying it because it's global practice. If you are retiring as a general in this country, they are going to assign a numerous number of active duty personnel to you. It doesn't happen in the United States of America. The chairman, Joint Chief of Staff, which is the equivalent of our Chief of Defense Staff here, when he retires and goes home, he goes home alone. Nobody follows him home.
Now, these army chiefs you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not talking about the retired ones, the one in active service.
Mm-hmm.
Major General Waidi Shaibu, as posted on the Daily Trust, that's the Chief of Army Staff, has said that the army under his watch is doing its best towards tackling insecurity. Do you agree that this is the best?
I said it when this guy was appointed. He led the offensive against Boko Haram in the Middle East. And on his watch, Boko Haram decimated multiple military bases in the Northeast. He gave his best then. His best wasn't enough. Now you are elevating someone like that to head the Nigerian army. What do you think you're going to get at the end of the day? More failures. As I was saying, in the US, when you retire as a general, you go home just like you came, alone. But in my home country, if you are going home as a general, no matter the level of failure or complicity while you are in service, you will go home with people, many enough to guarantee your physical safety till you die. Not just your physical safety, the safety of your businesses. We saw naval officers almost exchanging fisticuffs with FCTA personnel. Now, let's be very, very clear. I have a 5 trillion budget. My job is to quench insecurity in the land. Should I fail to quench insecurity, I will still be safe. Nothing is going to happen to me. And there is money on the table. Why must I quench insecurity?
So you're saying that it's incentivized.
What I'm saying is that there is no penalty for failure for these guys.
There's no incentive for them to pass.
Yes, there is no incentive whatsoever for them to pass. When they are going home, they go home with armored bulletproof cars that we replace for them occasionally, in fact, frequently.
Let me ask you this. What should the president be doing at this
moment? Number one, cut all of that. So that you know that you do fail, you are going to taste the result of your failure. It's not just Nigerians that are going to deal with your failure because you are the ones who should protect us. You should protect us. You have everything you need to protect us, but you are not protecting us. But when you leave service, you go home with what is more than enough to protect you. The natural human being will say, oh, that's the problem, Jerry. Let me do whatever I do.
What else do you think the president should do? But let's take this call before you answer that question. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, you see, I asked that question because when some of us say this thing is being done by a particular set of religious body, we are asked not to profile any religious organization. And this thing has been happening continuously by the same people. When Trump said they were killing Christians, he said, no, it's not only Christian, it's both Christian and Muslim. But we know the people who are doing this thing are from particular sect of religious body. Why are we afraid to deal with issues the way they should be dealt with? For example, some of them that were arrested earlier have been profiled and said they have repented and they set them free. The report is that they go back again after they have received money and everything.
Mr. George, can I ask a question? What is what is your take on the term repentant bandits, that terrorists, that and the federal government's how they're relating to them?
You see, why I'm saying this is this: they have no right to set any of them free. Before taking these children now, they have killed 2 people. Somebody who kills should not be set free. He should face the penalty of the crime he has committed. So I still believe that the government is not doing the right thing. They are supporting what those people are doing. There is nothing they are doing that has any favor.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. All right, now, okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
The radio woman.
Good morning, sir.
This is Gwenga Mario.
You're welcome, Mr. Mario.
Mr. Sonny. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
You see, oftentimes we are short of words. At times, you don't know what to say when we talk about insecurity in this country, because it keeps on festering on daily basis, and there seems to be no end in sight to insecurity issues in Nigeria. However, my take on this, the whole scenario, talking about KB issue and Okwara issue. See, God forbid, I'm not a prophet of doom. We still record more of this dastardly act by those terrorists. Because that is the one they strike yesterday, not the last. But the question is, how do we correct all those? The continuous action of those terrorists. That's where we should be sitting towards. So what the president needs to do now is that I think he should have to invite, maybe like Trump said, he himself should go to Trump and have a meeting with Trump and see if they can have a military ties or collaboration on how they can help us to face those terrorists, because Nigerian security ability could not be able to contain them. I'm telling you. So in order for us not to be recording further terrorist attacks, I think you need a collaboration with countries like US and others. Those are people that can really fight. Those who fight for us. Or else we still be saying the same thing on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. Thank you very much, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much for your
Look at the vice principal that was killed in Kebbi State.
I don't want us to dwell too much on that because of our time.
No, I just want to say just one thing.
Quickly, Mr. Sani.
They asked him, are you the
Nigerian
vice principal
delegation
of this school?
Quickly,
he
sir,
said yes, and they shot him.
The Nigerian delegation, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, is leading a high-powered delegation to the United States today. Hopefully, we'll be able to take that live, on World's Radio. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Nigeria is going to be truly designated a CPC?
It has been designated.
Do you think that the sanctions are going to follow?
What I'm saying here is that I understand the game that is happening in the United States of America.
But what are your expectations of that meeting today?
In all seriousness, if I was to be the Nigerian president, I wouldn't even send anybody there, because the U.S. appears to have made its mind on what is happening. Okay, let's take for instance what happened in Kebbi State. The chairman of the committee that's doing the investigation today, he said, the government's inaction led to the kidnap of around 25 girls in a Christian-dominated area of northern Nigeria, when in reality it is a very big fat and tall lie. It's all lobbying and politics, but it's happening simply because the government is clueless. The government is not doing much. That is why all of this propaganda is happening. I have said it and I'll continue to say it. Help cannot come from outside. Every country has what it is dealing with. What the US is dealing with is far bigger than what Nigeria is dealing with.
Let's not go there. I mean, I wish we had all the time.
No, let me ask you a question, ma'am. If you were to be the president of the US, maybe you're going to understand what I'm trying to say here. If you were to be the president of the United States of America, you swore to protect and defend the interests of the people of the United States of America. Will it interest you to spend money belonging to Americans on a country where you intend to get nothing at the end of the day?
We'll leave that for Donald Trump to answer.
The truth of the matter
let's
is that
move to other stories.
Ask
Mr.
questions
Salim.
locally and let's fix this problem locally. If you want to go and call China, you want to go and call Russia, you want to go and call US, you're only wasting your time. It's a local problem. Fix it.
All right. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, will know his fate in the prolonged legal battle with the federal government. A court presided over by Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja is expected to rule on a series of applications filed by both Kanu and the federal government, including a request by Kanu challenging the competence of the charges against him and seeking his release on the grounds of alleged unlawful detention and infringement of his fundamental human rights. We know all that has happened in the past 2 weeks. He sacked his lawyers and said he was going to be his own lawyer, and he then refused.
He said he was going to call witnesses for himself.
Yeah, then he refused to even engage, saying that
and eventually he said he didn't have anything.
There's nothing for them to try him on.
He said there was no valid charge against him.
The ruling is going to come today. And do you think that this, whether it goes, right or left, is going to have a major impact on the Southeast? Already we see that his detention has a major impact because now there's the Monday sit at home. Nobody has been able to do anything about it.
Oh, well, I'm a practical person and I follow what is on the ground, not what people are saying. The situation of things in the Southwest was worse when it was free and when Simon Ekpa was also free. Now that the two of them are behind bars, any sane human being who wants to be fair and sincere would say that sanity is gradually returning to the Southwest. Should what his supporters not want to hear happen today, yes, things are going to, escalate, all sorts of attacks and all of that. But I believe that should the government handle it the way they should, it's only going to be for a moment, and there is going to be, I hope, everlasting peace in the Southeast. But I do not want the federal government to focus on the Southeast alone. Madness is happening all over the country. North, Southwest, Southeast, South. Go after all the bad boys and do the right thing to the bad boys. You cannot say, Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa and you go home. No. What is happening to the guys who are also killing across the north?
We have just 2 minutes to the end of the show, but let's see if we can squeeze this call in. Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
All right, sir.
George.
All right, please go ahead. Just a minute.
You see, yes, in the two issues now, I look at it as if the government has failed totally because it looks as if they're taking sides. Take, for example, the president wanted to go to South Africa yesterday, and he's sending the vice to Kebbi. The man that is sending to Kebbi has been accused on a previous instance where he was dining with a terrorist. You see, we are not doing what we're supposed to do. They are taking sides. That is how the whole case is going to be. That of Nnamdi Kanu and the rest of it. Was he not attacked after he was placed on bail that he has to escape? So I don't know what we are expecting from them. They should do what they want to do. And whatever come after them, let us take it.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. Big thanks to you for engaging on the show today. But we've got to the point where we have to wrap it up. I'll quickly take a comment from one of our Facebook viewers. Adim Damola Okunlola says, beautiful morning to you. If the president is depressed by the abductions and deaths, like he has said, then he would have done something before now. Why can't he approve state and local policing before now? Nowhere seems to be safe again in this country. The federal government should find a lasting solution to insecurity and make Nigeria livable for its citizens. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Sani, a quick yes or no question. Do you think that state police is going to change much?
It may not totally fix the problem, but at least it will do something. And at this particular point, it's no longer just state police. In fact, local government police is needed.
All right, that's how we wrap up the show this morning. Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Thank you so much, Mr. Sani.
It is always an honor.
Big thank you to everyone who engaged on the show. The sports team is coming up next to give you the latest, the freshest, and the best stories in the world of sports. Whatever you do today, don't let idleness take over your mind, and don't let bad thoughts take over your mind. It shall be well with Nigeria. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. My name is Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola.